video for your wedding or live event? Beetlejuice Films candidly captures those special moments you want to relive. We are now servicing the New York area. Visit our website to find out more and get in touch.
Is what has occurred in the fight game. Like when I got hit by the car accident, I did push the fight back, and luckily for me and for you, I didn't bow out like, look man, I'm coming off of an injury that's serious and I don't trust my body, so I'm going to bow out of the Sean Porter fight and we're gonna put a replacement and then we'll fight Sean later. You know what I mean? And we didn't give Sean that kind of run around. You know, we wanted to make the fight happen, and we did, you know, and I did get a lot of respect for that, you know. But you know.
But were you 100%? Thinking back, should you have not went forward with it because you were coming off of that injury?
It probably would have been good for me because it was an awkward transfer going from a training camp, from an injury into rehab, back into training camp. It's like going, building up speed, slamming on the brakes, and then trying to hit the gas again while your foot's still on the brake. You know what I mean? Because it was a slow start back in camp because you didn't want to force the body too much. You can't ask the body to do too much after recovery, you know. But I studied the fight game. I know Sean Porter well. I knew what he was going to bring to the table. I knew what I was going to bring to the table. And I just thought that at the end of the day, we'll most likely hurt him. We might drop him. If we get an opportunity, we might stop him. We hurt him. We didn't drop him. We didn't stop him. But then ultimately, I knew that I believe that I can be the smarter fighter and I can perform in a way to where I can get the majority of the rounds, you know? I'm not gonna let Sean Porter get the majority of the rounds. And in the fight, I remember saying to myself, look man, Sean came, you know what you can do, but you have to tighten up. You gotta tighten this defense up. You gotta utilize the ring properly. You gotta do what you need to do to win this fight, because if you don't box smart, that boy came for victory today. And if you do box smart, you can achieve the victory today. Worst case scenario, you know your skills, you can force a draw tonight. You can force a draw, 6 rounds to 6 rounds, you know? And it was a close fight, but it was not a draw. And that's because I edged out the rounds. I did start boxing a little bit smarter. I utilized my defense. I gave the judges what they wanted to see so that I could be champion, you know? Boxing is a fight, but when there are no knockouts, it goes to how the rounds are scored. And that makes it a sport. You must understand the sport of boxing. And my knowledge and my understanding of the sport and how to utilize my energy throughout the 12 rounds and what to do, how to maneuver around the ring and manipulate this 3-minute interval that we are given with a 1-minute rest, you know, I just knew that this is close, but Sean Porter, no matter what, that night was not going to be victorious. That there was only 2 options that night, a draw and a victory. I chose victory. I pushed towards the end, I tightened up, I did what I needed to do, and we got that W.
Do you feel your win was more decisive or better looking than the Kell Brook win over Sean Porter?
No.
No?
No.
Do you compare yourself? I mean, not compare, but like looking at the 2 performances, do you envision a fight with Kell Brook one day? Or how it would play out, rather, not an actual fight, but like I could take him, or if he did that 1-2 on me, I would do X, Y, Z.
You know, Kell's strongest point is that 1-2 he got. You know, fundamentals, nice defense, long reach for a welterweight, 1-2. You know, we haven't seen him really step up his opposition enough. You know, he hasn't really competed with too many fighters in the top 10. So, you know, the only measuring stick I have is Sean Porter, you know, and he stayed composed. He held, I didn't hold, you know. You know, Sean was right on top of me. Anytime I could reach over and hold, you know. Sometimes I tied an arm up here, did this and that. But there were times he was holding me, you know. So I'm pretty sure he almost held me more than I held him. I wasn't trying to hold. I like to fight. The referee wants you to fight. Let go, fight out. Let go, fight out. You know what I mean? That's clean boxing. You know, from the amateurs, my experience, I pride myself on having very clean boxing style. You don't see Keith Thurman being controversial for rabbit punching and low blows and headbutts and this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one watching out for all that. You know? Diego Chavez tried to pull some dirty moves on me. He pulled some dirty moves on Brandon Rios, and he's that kind of fighter, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, the Spence Brook, that's gonna be a good showdown. You know, Olympian kid who's hungry, ready, on the grind, wants to face everybody, wants that belt. You know, wants that belt. So we'll see, man. I think. When I was looking at what I loved about Kell Brook was he was an undefeated welterweight. You know, he's not undefeated, but he still has never been beaten by a welterweight. So, you know, that's how I look at him now. He's not an undefeated fighter, but he still is an undefeated welterweight. So I do look forward to seeing him compete against better welterweights and see what happens. You know, obviously, I believe in the welterweight division. We do have the ability of occurring unification bout with the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA sometime in the next 2 years. You know, I think it'd be great for the sport of boxing. I think it's how you take care of what we call the Mayweather shadow, right? Mayweather is this big superstar. He made all this money. He was undefeated, yada, 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 yada. But who's the next superstar at 147? We got too many young dudes in their prime willing to fight, ready to fight, and we just gotta let them fight. You know what I mean? Me and Danny are going at it right now. Those two are going at it right now. And then there's gonna be a big, even bigger fight to promote in the future for like I said, for the welterweight division. You know, I mean, I don't know how every fighter feels about it. It is interesting, you know, if you have all three titles, you are, you know, undisputed champ, but you got to pay 3 sanctioning bodies for those who really understand how boxing works. Some people are not that eager to attain that much practically taxation to be a champion, you know. For me, it's a historical thing. It's a pride thing. I take it, you know what I mean? Because I want it. I want to achieve something that only few fighters have ever achieved in the history of the sport of boxing, because there's been champions, there's been unified champions, there's been lesser undisputed champions. And for me, boxing is not just about winning, making money, becoming famous, but it's about creating history and leaving a historical mark in the sport that I love. So I'm truly looking forward to March 4th, and I'm looking forward to what else comes after this bout and this victory.